enough said there. We'll get started. All right, so you're going to bring your palms together, 72,000 nerve endings left and right side together, because the nervous system's split in half. So when you bring your palms together, you're bringing the two sides of your nervous system together, and you inhale slowly through the nose all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. Let your belly expand down and out. Fill into the rib cage. Keep the heart center elevated. You don't want to be slumped over. You want to stay, the heart center is elevated. Your heart center is going to lead you through this process. Fill into the chest area. Neck lock in place. Pull the chin back slightly. Not down, not up. Straight back so it straightens the spine under the base of the skull. Inhale up through the neck. Up into the head. Up into the top of the head. Full deep breath. Inhale some more. Hold the breath, feel the energy. That's prana, life force energy. That's what we're dealing with. It's not the oxygen in the breath, it's the spark within the atom. And exhale through the nose, letting the tension go from the head, the neck, the chest, the rib cage. Pull the navel back towards the spine. Push the air all the way out. Empty the lungs completely. Again, inhale deeply, same process. Take your time. That's why we call it a long, deep breath. It's not just a deep breath, it's a long, deep breath. So you feel the dynamics of the energy as it slowly builds from the base of your belly all the way up through the top of the head. Keep the shoulders relaxed as best you can. Keep the palms together. This is not prayer pose. If there's daylight between your fingers and palms, you're not getting those full 72,000 nerve endings connecting. And exhale, letting the tension go. Now we'll do the mantra Om Namo on the first breath, Guru Dev Namo on the second breath. Full deep breath, inhale. Inhale some more. Om. Again, inhale. One last time. Inhale and exhale. Okay, unless you've been living in a vacuum, you realize that there's this, quote, pandemic virus that's going around. And so there's just a lot of confusion, there's a lot of anxiety and angst about the whole thing. The news media just runs with it. As a person who does yoga, we can do things that can boost our immune system, that help us to fight off any kind of disease or virus or anything else. Doesn't mean you're totally protected, but you have a better chance if you're going to be doing some of the things that we just normally do in a yoga set or a yoga class. One of the things is to breathe long and deep. When you just practice that while I explain some dynamics to you. Just like we did at the very beginning. You're slowly inhaling into the belly, into the rib cage, into the chest, up through the neck, up through the top of the head, and then you're exhaling the air all the way out. So just continue to do that, and I'll explain a few things to you. When you breathe long and deep, you're aerating your entire lungs. A lot of the dynamics of these viruses are that they are respiratory problems. Now, the people in China are big smokers, especially the men. So no wonder in China they have a lot of, reaction to this virus because they don't talk about the smoking aspect. But that's one of the dynamics that compromises your whole dynamic of being able to handle disease. The second thing that's going on is, and this is a basic biological fact, viruses and bacteria like a suboxygen state, a lower oxygen state. So if you're just shallow breathing, not paying attention to your breath, you're just breathing up here. Down here, nothing's going on much throughout the day. Maybe once in a while you'll take a deep breath. But if you're constantly breathing long and deep, you're aerating your entire lung cavity. Now, most of the air sacs in your lungs are down here, not up here. Up here you have these big bronchial tubes, and you got a few air sacs up here, but it's not the same. So viruses and bacteria can get a stronghold down here and cause, coughs and whatever else is going on. And that's the dynamic that you're working with. So breathing long and deep is helping you to build your body's ability to handle viruses and bacteria. Second thing going on is when you breathe long and deep and all these air sacs are down here and you're bringing that air down here, this is where the capillaries are that infuse that into your blood system. So when you breathe long and deep, you're helping to cleanse your blood system. Your blood system, if it doesn't have a whole lot of oxygen flowing through it, you can have disease and viruses in your blood system. So when you breathe long and deep, you're helping to cleanse your blood system. Also, you're increasing the level of energy of all your cells. They have more energy to fight off whatever the dynamics are. If you're weak, that's a different story. So breathing long and deep helps to keep you healthy. It can also heal you. Help you to heal and overcome the dynamics of whatever's going on in stress. Stress is the major cause of everything in our lives. If you have tons of physical stress, say a trauma on your knee, that's stress, and you injure your knee. Well, or if you have mental stress, or you have whatever, spiritual stress, emotional stress. So the idea is to allow yourself to start letting this life force energy of the universe that's available to all of us, take advantage of it throughout your day. Yogi Bhajan told us that if you take 2 deep breaths every half hour, it helps you get through the day rather than drinking a bunch of coffee or whatever else, Red Bull or all these other crazy drinks that people have that hype them up beyond their capacities. So that's all a drain on your nervous system, all this other stuff. Breathing helps to feed your whole system. It'll strengthen your nervous system too, to be able to handle the stress. Also, you're filtering that energy of the breath through every one of your chakras. If you're familiar about what the chakras do, then you know that you're bringing that life force energy and letting each one of your chakras handle it, whatever issues that are going on there. We won't go into that complex dynamic. In fact, at the end of March, I'm going to do a chakra workshop, and I'll let you know about it when it happens. That'll be like a yoga intensive, 5 or 6 hours of doing yoga and meditation. All right. All right, so that's the dynamic of just breathing, making yourself conscious of your breath. In Buddhism, they talk about mindfulness. That's part of being mindful. you know, letting this energy flow, because when you breathe long and deep like this, you kind of get a little bit spacey, and you kind of lose your focus. So you have to kind of bring yourself into focus a little bit, especially in a yoga class. Maybe in regular life, if you get used to breathing long and deep, you're not going to have those dynamics, because your body's going to adapt and be able to handle the energy. When you're breathing long and deep, you're bringing a lot of life force energy into your system. So if your nervous system isn't strong, then you have dynamics going on there that make it difficult. You know, it becomes challenging. But after a while, it's sort of like you try to go out and run 3 miles. If you've not done it before, the first 2 or 3 times you do it, it's a tremendous challenge. But a body gets it stronger, gets adapted to it. That's what happens when you're breathing long and deep. It becomes something normal. Then when you sleep, oh my God, you start breathing long and deep when you sleep. It helps to regenerate your cells, everything else. There's so many benefits. I won't go into any further. Enough said about that. Now let's get started. So let me just get this set up here. We're going to work on the lymphatic system, and I'll explain what's going on there as we do the yoga set. Let me get the music going again here. Okay, bring your arms out like this. Here's 0 degrees. This is 60 degrees, okay? Out to from off the center. Okay. You're going to keep your wrists cocked so your fingers are pointing straight up. Your arms are parallel to the ground as best you can. You're going to put pressure on the wrist. This puts energy, the energy flow of the meridian flow lines up through the arms into the brain. What you're going to do is you're going to take the left hand and just rotate it around in circle as you breathe long and deep. Just work with that left hand only. Get that hand back into the cocked position. Both hands stay cocked. Now get back to that starting position so you create the tension. We're just moving the left hand. And breathe long and deep. Remember, the hands and arms are parallel to the ground. Some of you are up here. Get it down parallel. There you go. Kundalini yoga is a yoga of angles. This helps to clear your lymph system. Your lymph system is where the body dumps all its junk. Like dead cells, all the dead cells that just normally die off, like several million cells die off every day. You also regenerate new cells. So when cells get weak and old, they die off and they get dumped into the lymph system. So like the sewer of the body. Also, any viruses and bacteria, remember to cock that wrist, stop, and then do it again. It's like one distinct movement. Keep that other hand cocked. If you don't have both hands cocked, you're going to go off half cocked after this yoga set. So. Keep breathing. Keep your focus. Keep the arms locked straight. Okay, now inhale deeply. Both hands are cocked now. Now do the other hand. We're ambidextrous in our process. Circle it around, cock the wrist. Circle it around, cock the wrist. Keep the other hand fully cocked. You got to stay locked and loaded for your nervous system, for your immune system. Okay, your lymph system, you have 3 times as much lymph fluid as you have blood. Keep the elbows locked straight. Take your time, pause for a moment. Totally cock the wrist and then rotate it around again. It's that watery stuff that when you cut yourself, you got blood, which is red, and then you got that watery stuff. That watery stuff is your lymph fluid. You have 3 times as much lymph fluid as you have blood. if you do not freely circulate this lymph fluid around, it doesn't flush out all that dead cells out of the body. If your lymph system gets clogged, you got a problem. Just like you have a problem if your toilet backs up and you can't flush it and it's clogged. Things get pretty messy pretty quickly. That's what's happening in your lymph system if you're not constantly clearing it. Now in the extremities like this, inhale deeply. And exhale, relax the arms down. Inhale deeply, full deep breath. Just be aware of the dynamics. Feel the energy. Breathe into where you're feeling the dynamics. The new sensations. And exhale. Okay. Next exercise, bring your arms out like this, elbows locked straight, and just begin clapping the hands, but keep the elbows locked straight. Lymph fluid into your extremities. You're stimulating all your major organs in the body because your hands have the same reflexology schematic as your feet do. If you've ever had a foot massage, and they show you the foot massage chart, there's stimulant energies all the way through the body to every organ, every part of the body in the feet. The same kind of schematic is in the hands, so you're stimulating all your organs and all, like your eyes and ears and all these different areas. Inhale deeply. Full deep breath. Elevated heart center. Stretch up. Neck lock in place. And exhale. Relax the arms down. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Okay. Now bring the arms out in front of you like this. Parallel to the ground. Okay. You're going to inhale, bring the wrist up. Exhale, back down to parallel. Exhale, press the wrist down. Keep the fingers together. Put the pressure on the wrist. Bend your hands enough so that you feel the pressure. Inhale up, exhale back down to parallel. Inhale down, exhale up to parallel. Elbows locked straight. Create that flow, puts the pressure on those meridian flow lines in the arms. Stimulates that flow of lymph fluid. You know, lymph fluid that gets out into your extremities, they don't circulate around very much. So by moving your hands like this, be forceful. You can jerk your hands, but keep the arms steady. One more minute. Keep the heart center elevated. Keep the neck lock in place. Keep breathing. Breathe into the navel point. Your navel point you'll have a primal connection to. When you breathe into the navel point, that's where you had all your source of everything when you were in the womb. So you have a deep-seated primal connection to the energy there. That's your power center, your third chakra. This will give you the energy to go through whatever you're going through in life. So when you breathe throughout the day, breathe into the navel point. Inhale deeply, arms parallel, fill the belly into the rib cage, elevated heart center. Inhale through the chest, up through the neck lock in place, up through the top of the head. Hold the breath, feel the energy, let it circulate. And exhale, relax the arms down. Inhale deeply, breathe into those areas where you feel the sensation, where you're feeling, where your attention is drawn to, either because it's a newfound area of stimulation and feeling that you haven't experienced before. Breathe into it. Let the breath, that pranic energy, circulate into the area. As you exhale, let the tension go. Keep breathing and let yourself flush this residual tension out of your system. So also start equalizing the dynamics of your nervous system as well. Let the energy freely circulate throughout your entire body. This is a total body awareness and also a mental awareness. It's also a spiritual awareness. That's what they call a Kriya. A Kriya affects your physical body, your emotions, your mind, and your spirit. It's a multi-dimensional process that you're dealing with on many different levels. Keep the eyes closed, focus within. This is a yoga set, but in the yoga set, use your meditative mind to be fully aware of the dynamics. Have compassion for yourself. You can observe what's going on. You're not trying to pass judgment, but you can have compassion because whatever you're observing, you're also experiencing. So just be totally aware. Let the energy circulate as you fully breathe in through the belly, into the rib cage, up through the chest, up through the neck. Remember to keep that chin tucked slightly. Shoulders relaxed. And exhale. You don't have to stay in cross-legged position if you have trouble that way. Okay. Now, bring your arms out to the side, parallel to the ground. Shoulder, everything is out straight. Keep that heart center elevated. Keep the neck lock in place. You're going to inhale, lean forward a little bit. Exhale, lean back a little bit. A little off center. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. The lymph fluid in your body doesn't have a pump. The heart has a pump, but you have 3 times as much lymph fluid. So the lymph fluid's got to move. It has one-way locks in the lymph system that pushes it forward. So you got to push that lymph fluid forward throughout the day so that it gets back up into the upper chest area and gets dumped back into the blood system underneath the collarbones. That way all that junk can get filtered out of the body through the liver and the kidneys. It's important to bring plenty of water throughout the day because your lymph system is watery. If you don't drink much water, your lymph system's not going to have enough fluid. Your lymph fluid's going to be thick. It's not going to move as easily. So You want to keep yourself designed. You're designed to be a flow-through system, so don't compromise your ability to be a flow-through system. You have residual tension, which prevents the flow of energy. And if you don't drink enough fluids and water, you're having a resistance of flow that way. Thick stuff doesn't flow as easily as thin stuff. Keep the head in line with the spine. Now switch. Inhale back and exhale forward. Remember, everything stays in a straight line. Keep those arms parallel to the ground. Breathe. Let the breath help you to process the energy. Work with the tension. Keep the head in line with the spine. Don't drop the chin down. You're leading with the heart center. Your focus is to lead with the heart. We don't lead with the head. When you stay open-hearted throughout experiential situations, you're more open to the dynamics of what your life is going through. If you lead with the head, then it becomes an intellectual process. You're trying to plow your way through. It's not that kind of a dynamic. You're leading with the heart. It's much more of a subtle process. But it has a greater dimensional impact on your life and on the lives of the people around you if you're staying open-hearted. Last few seconds now. Now inhale, sit up straight, full deep breath, arms parallel. Inhale some more, fill up through the top of the head. Stretch out the arms to the side, inhale some more. Hold the breath and apply the root lock. Muscles around the tailbone, squeeze them tight. Pull in the navel, back towards the spine. Hold the breath and pull in the navel, focus at the brow point. Circulate the energy up the spine, circulate it throughout the body. And exhale, relax the arms down. Again, inhale deeply. Breathe into those areas where you feel the challenge, where you feel the stress. De-stress that area with bathing it with that energy, that life force energy of the breath. Take that full deep breath. You're not in a hurry here. You want to be conscious of the dynamic of fully filling everything up throughout your entire being. Your skin takes in the energy of the breath as well. Your skin is like a third lung. So just imagine this pranic energy, this life force energy of the universe comes into you from every area, from every direction. And when you exhale, you're letting the tension go physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, subconsciously. That's the process of elimination. We have prana on the inhale, we have apana on the exhale. Apana is the process of elimination. It's like you have the sun and then you have its opposite polarity, the moon, the yin and the yang. Well, prana is one element. The other element is the elimination process. In order to be a flow-through system, you got to let stuff go. You're bringing in this life force energy of the universe. You got to make room for it by letting some of the stress and tension go. Your ego keeps you in a constellation of trying to reconfigure things, and that creates all sorts of unintended consequences. So get your ego out of it. You might say ego is an acronym for edging God out of the situation because you think you know better than the God consciousness within you. So let the God within you spring forth, let it slowly become more and more an awareness of within inside of you how you connect with the entire cosmic flow of the universe. Just feel the energy. Let it circulate. Okay, now we're going to interlock our hands into Venus lock. For women, it's left over right. For men, it's right over left. It's just based on the polarity of the energies of male and female. Okay, now you're going to bring your hands right on top of the head. Keep the elbows pulled back. Keep that neck lock in place. You're going to inhale, twist left, exhale, twist right. Inhale left and exhale right. Keep elevating the heart center. Keep stretching the spine up. Keep the head level as you're doing this. Keep lifting those elbows and keep pulling the elbows back. Open up this heart center. Open up your lung cavity here. Keep the heart center elevated. Don't be bending forward. Don't do it like this. Get your head up. Lift that heart center. Be proud of what you're doing here. Keep the elbows pulled back. Keep breathing. Circulate this energy. You're stimulating that lymph flow throughout the body, throughout the torso, getting it back into the blood system, underneath the collarbone. The main problem with the lymph system is that you don't move the upper body that much to get it back into the blood system. You move your legs a lot when you're walking around, so you get the lymph fluid flowing through the legs back up into the torso, but then it stalls there. It clogs everything up. If your lymph nodes, which give feedback to the brain as to what viruses and bacteria are in an area, if they're clogged, they can't get proper feedback. It's sort of like with your cell phone reception. If you have good cell phone reception, you have 4 or 5 bars. If you have poor reception, you have 1 or 2 bars. That's what happens if you have a clogged lymph nodes. They can't give proper feedback. Your body, mind, and your immune system are able and capable of producing most all of the antibodies your body needs to fight off viruses and bacteria. It's because we have compromised immune systems that we're not able to do that. Just 30 more seconds. Powerful breath. Keep lifting, lifting. Lift that heart center. Keep the elbows pulled back. This is also lubricating the pads between your vertebrae. This is the only kind of exercise that does that, twisting the torso like this. Those pads need to be soft, moist, and springy. If they get dried and brittle like an old dried out sponge that's hard like a rock, those pads can crumble. And if they crumble, you got bone on bone and you're going to have chronic back pain. You don't need that. Inhale to the center. Full deep breath. Fill the belly into the rib cage. Focus at the brow point. Point between the eyebrows, top of the nose. Fill up through the chest. Keep the elbows pulled back. Keep that heart center open. Fill up through the neck, up through the top of the head. Focus at the brow point. Feel the energy. Let it circulate. Exhale, letting the tension go. Relax the arms down. Again, sit straight. Inhale deeply, slowly but completely. Take your time. Your body can handle taking your time, but your nervous system, if you're not used to breathing long and deep, your body kind of has this agitated, oh, I got to get that breath. I can't stand it. That's because your nervous system is feeling stressed. Eventually, your nervous system starts gaining the strength and capacity to be patient with living life as it comes. It's our impatience that creates all sorts of unintended consequences in our lives. If we just slow down, take a moment, take a deep breath, take our time to fully and completely give our body, mind, and spirit a chance to lock into some of that life force energy to give us the capacity to sort out what is actually really happening, what's going on. And as you exhale, letting the tension go. When you're in a panic state, a fight or flight state, you're not very rational. That's why mob energy can get out of control. People get panicked. This pandemic is sort of like a pandemic. Those pandemic. So just let yourself slow down and just take a breath one at a time, fully and deeply. Let the energy of the breath soothe you, heal you, relax you, energize you. It does all these things at the same time. That's what the breath is for. It makes your mind more alert and at the same time more relaxed at the same time. When you drink Red Bull and double, triple special shots of Starbucks coffee, your mind can get alert, but then it's jazzed up and you're hyper and your nervous system is stressed. Your adrenal glands get totally stressed. In our society, we stress our adrenal glands big time. And that's a big problem. Your adrenal glands get overstressed, they have adrenal fatigue, and you're caught in a vicious cycle of stimulus and then crashing. Hyped up and then crashing. You want to have steady flow of energy happening in your life. Stay balanced, stay aware, and stay conscious. If you're tired and exhausted, you're not very conscious at that point either. So just let the energy circulate, letting the tension go. Okay, inhale deeply. Exhale. Now, bring your arms out in front of you, parallel to the ground, parallel to each other. You're going to inhale the left arm up to 60 degrees, exhale down to parallel. Inhale the right arm up 60 degrees, back down to parallel. And you're spreading the arms out a little bit to the side each time you come up and come down. And so you're slowly spreading the arms out until you get out there. And your arms are in a straight line out to the side. Take your time. And then slowly bring them back toward the midpoint, towards the center of your chest. Use your focus. Direct the energy of the breath where you're feeling the challenge. Everybody has their own unique perception of where they're feeling the challenge. For some people, just the process of taking a deep breath is a challenge. So just work on that if that's what's going on in your life. So if the exercise is too much of a challenge physically, lie down on your back and just breathe. You might be a little dizzy, but you're not going anywhere. You're flat on your back. You're not. If you lose your balance, the earth is supporting you. You got to learn how Mother Nature supports you. There's so many things that had to come into balance before we could even exist on this planet, in this universe. If you have the opportunity, watch the Cosmos series that came out a few years back. It's probably somewhere on Netflix, or I think National Geographic might have it as video on demand. It's a remake of what Carl Sagan did 25, 30 years ago now. It gives you a sense of appreciation of all the dynamics that had to be just like, you might call it the Goldilocks effect. So many things had to be just right for us to even have a chance to exist here and now on this planet. One more minute.
What is the name of the new program again?
Cosmos. If you have Netflix, it might be on Netflix. If you have cable, you might find it on National Geographic. It was played on National Geographic many years ago as a series, but you know, who knows what's out there now. I haven't really looked for it. At one time I had video links for it, but those are all out of date now, so somebody must have pirated it and I had gotten onto those links. Just do a web search for Cosmos. Now, bring yourself back to the center point. Inhale deeply, arms parallel to each other, parallel to the ground, palms facing down. Full deep breath. Elevated heart center. Neck locked in place. Inhale some more. Up through the top of the head. Inhale some more. Hold the breath now and apply the root lock. Squeeze tight, base of the spine. Pull in the navel. Focus brow point. And exhale, relax the arms down. So just breathe. Again, breathe into where you're feeling the challenge, where you're feeling the sensations, where you're feeling the stimulation. I find it interesting that there's such a popularity of zombie movies and programs. The zombies are like the living dead or the living undead or however you want to define that. And I think a lot of people kind of identify that. They just feel numb inside themselves. They went on to overwhelm a long time ago, so they're just kind of going through the motions. So this is waking stuff up. You're bringing in this life force energy. So wake yourself up. Be totally awake. Okay. You're going to bring your hands. You're going to bring your left hand on top of your right upper arm above the elbow. And you're going to take your right hand and place it over the left arm and hold on to the upper arm above the left elbow, just like this. So, and everything is straight. Keep the heart center elevated. Okay. Now you're going to chant Har Hari. When you put your arms down, I'm going to explain. Mantras have tremendous effect. We're not moving the arms up and down, but you can do that while I'm explaining. When you chant Har, you pull in the navel point. That stimulates, it starts giving you energy, it stimulates. To be open-hearted, you have to process out the subconscious anger. The navel point is where you store all your subconscious anger. And we live in a very angry society. Even if we personally don't have stuff we're working on, our whole environment around us is an angry environment. Our society is an angry environment. We're very preoccupied with being number one in the world. The power issues, you know, all this dynamic navel point stuff. Okay? So when you chant Har, you're kind of releasing some of that pent up anger. Har, and then your tongue flips up against the upper palate. So it actually sounds like DH. Hada. Hada. Your tongue flips up. That's stimulant. Your upper palate is like a meridian template. There's a grid, and that tongue, when it comes up, it stimulates nerve centers in that upper palate that go up into the brain to help start opening you up, that process of opening up your mind to be compassionate, be loving, to be more forgiving, all that dynamic, that's what you're dealing. That's Hada, okay? That's Hada. And also, Hada, it kind of projects up through the heart center, so you're opening the heart center. And then you chant Hari, Hada, Hari. Hari. When you chant Hari, that really brings it up through the heart center and makes you smile. It causes a reflex action on these jaw muscles. Oh my God, these jaw muscles get super intense. Feel them, they're so tight. You kind of grit your teeth and bear all that suppressed anger. So you're going to Hari. You're stimulating and releasing pent-up tension in the jaw. That's the dynamic you're working with.
With the tongue, is it just the tip or the full tongue?
Hari, however it comes up into your mouth. Hari, Hari. Okay, you got it? So that's the technology. This is a class. You don't have to go through the whole explanation when you do it on your own. But since it's a class, I want to make sure you understand the dynamics. Okay, so hold on to your upper arms, right over left, and we're going to chant. Hari, Hari. Use your navel. Hari. Hold on to your feet. Hold on to your upper arms. Hari. Your left hand is on the upper arm. Be emotional about it. Let jump. Let it go. Hold on to that upper arm. Use your navel. Heart center elevated. Elevate the heart center. Lift the arms so no right upper chest. Don't be in such a hurry. Pump the navel. One more minute. Inhale deeply. Fill the belly into the rib cage. Elevated heart center. Keep the arms up. Upper arms parallel to the ground. Inhale up through the chest. Up through the neck, up through the top of the head, neck lock in place. Keep the chin tucked. Don't get the head back, straight back. You can even drop the chin down a little bit because most of you is going to keep the chin up. You want to straighten the spine under the base of the skull. Feel the energy now circulated. Come on, hold the breath. Come on, you guys. We took a full deep breath. And exhale, relax down. Now, come sitting on your heels and just bring your forehead to the ground. I have knee issues, so I'm not able to do that very well. But you want to sit back on your heels as best you can. Your buttocks is touching your heels. You can spread your knees and just bring your forehead to the ground. And just arms at your side, or you can have them in prayer pose on the ground, pointing ahead of you. And just breathe long and deep. Let the body relax, release the tension. Keep breathing. Even though you're all the way down like this, breathe into that belly. Fill the belly into the rib cage, up through the chest, all the way up through the top of the head. This is helping to flush toxins out of your brain. Your mind can benefit from sitting in this posture. Yogi Bhajan recommended that we sit like this for 3 minutes every day. It helps circulate your spinal fluid up into the brain, circulate the fluids. This helps to, because of all the upper body tension that we experience in our lives, we have restricted blood flow to the brain. That causes people to be kind of get numbed out. They're not as enthusiastic, or they're even depressed. That's a physiological dynamic. It's not psychological, it's physiological. So breathing into this upper part of your brain and stuff, bathing the brain with this pranic life force energy can help you to feel much more enthusiastic about life. You might call this yogic Prozac. Antidepressant process, medication. This brings all your energy centers in close proximity one to one another. If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling fearful, if you're feeling... This is a good way to help you to process that. Just breathe long and deep. Gives you a sense of security. This is a primal position that you would spend your time in the womb like this for many, many hours or days at a time. The nurturing aspect, when you had that direct connection with the universal flow, you didn't have an ego then to manipulate things out of your consciousness. You were just coming into the flow. You were part of the flow. You were developing your own sense of individuality as you got back. Once you were born and into the world, then, oh my gosh, you started developing your own sense of individuality that start creating all the unintended consequences that develop in your life from that point on. So just let it all go. Breathe. Now inhale, exhale, slowly, very, very slowly, bring yourself up. So you're sitting on your heels, you're going to come up into kneeling position, spread your knees wide, so that you can maintain your balance. You're going to interlace your hands into Venus lock behind your head and just lift the heart center up and back, drop the head back, pull the elbows back, and just lean back slightly as far as you comfortably can and stay in balance. And just breathe long and deep. Open yourself up to the universal flow. Let the energy freely circulate. Keep lifting that heart center. Drop the head up and back. Support it with the hands. Pull the elbows back. Breathe in long and deep into the belly, into the rib cage, up through the chest, up through the neck, and up through the top of the head. Keep pulling the elbows apart. Keep opening the heart. Breathe into that heart center. Breathe into your full dynamic person. Physical body, emotional body. You have 10 subtle bodies. We went through that in one of our previous classes. You have 10 bodies. You're awakening all those aspects of your consciousness. One more minute. Breathe, breathe. Open yourself up. Every breath long and deep. Inhale deeply. Full deep breath. Fill the belly into the rib cage, up through the neck, up through the top of the head. Inhale some more. Inhale some more. Hold the breath and apply the root lock. Squeeze those muscles around the tailbone. Pull in the navel. Focus brow point. Circulate the energy up the spine. Slowly exhale and come forward. And just bring yourself down and come lying down on your back. Totally relax, and Teg Ravikar is going to play the gong while we do that. I mean, not the gong, the meditation bowls.
Your baby gongs.
Arms at your side, palms facing up, receptive pose. Let the energy flow, let the tension go, let the weight of your body release into the floor. Breathe. Keep breathing long and deep into the belly, all the way up through every part of your being, up through the top of the head. inhale deeply. Bring yourself back. Exhale. Inhale. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. And exhale. Inhale. Rotate your ankles and your wrists. Exhale, inhale, stretch the arms overhead onto the ground, stretch out the spine, full deep breath. Stretch, inhale some more, and stretch, stretch, stretch. Exhale, release the tension. Inhale, rub the soles of the feet, palms of the hands together. And exhale. Now extend the legs down. Bend one knee, turn it over the other leg. Stretch out your hip. Inhale, turning to the side. Exhale, back to the center. Now switch legs, bend the other knee. Inhale to the side. Exhale, back to the center. Now inhale, pull the knees into the chest. Wrap the hands around the knees. Inhale into that lower back. Breathe into it. Keep the head and shoulders on the mat. Exhale, back off from the tension. Again, inhale, pull the knees in. Exhale, back off from the tension. And now holding on to the knees, rock from side to side. And now begin rocking forwards and backwards and rock yourself up to a sitting position. Okay, after all that hard work, we're going to do a meditation to become young and powerful and special, okay? So you're going to curl your fingers into your, like a fist, but keep your thumbs extended. Your elbows are relaxed against your rib cage. Your forearms are parallel to the ground. Your heart center is elevated. Your eyes are 9/10 closed. You're letting in a little bit of light. Keep that heart center elevated. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep the neck locked in place. Inhale. Take a full deep breath. Filling the belly into the rib cage, up through the chest, up through the top of the head, that full deep breath. And exhale. Push the air all the way out. Pull the navel all the way back. Maintain your posture. Holding the breath out, mentally vibrate sa, ta, na, ma 4 times. And then continue again, fully deeply inhale, fully deeply exhale, emptying the lungs completely, holding the breath out, and repeat sa, ta, na, ma 4 times. And continue. Now, if you have trouble holding the breath out, do it rapidly. Satanama, satanama, satanama. You're doing it mentally. Satanama, 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 satanama. If you've got good breath extension and hold the breath out, you can do it sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta. It's up to you. That's what we call the Guru Dev, the dynamics of what you're dealing. Keep the thumbs pulled back. Everything else is relaxed. The only tension is you're putting pressure on your ego. Keep those fingers curled into a fist. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep the elevated heart center.
Do we only do satanama on the exhale?
You're holding the breath out, and then you say satanama. Only after you've exhaled the air out, you're holding the breath out. You're not doing while you're exhaling. You're pushing the air all the way out, and then keep those thumbs pulled up and back. Keep the pressure on your ego. Keep the head straight, elevated heart center. Stay open-hearted. 2 thumbs up here. Forearms are parallel to the ground, not up. Parallel to the ground. There you go. And straight forward. The palms of the hands face each other. The palms of the hands are parallel to each other. And I'll get some music on here. Remember, it's on the exhale, after you've exhaled the air out, that you start doing this. Confuse you. Remember to keep those shoulders relaxed. Those shoulders tend to be very creepy and sneaky. They tend to tense up. So consciously monitor your shoulders to keep them relaxed. Keep that heart center elevated. Neck lock in place. The dynamic of constantly uplifting your heart center, having the shoulders relaxed and the neck lock in place can give you the sensation that you're just floating weightless in space. Those thumbs pressed up, 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 straight up, straight up. Pressure on your ego. Heart center elevated. Shoulders relaxed. Neck lock in place. arms are parallel to the ground. Don't have the arms angled up. They should be parallel to the ground. Keep those thumbs pulled up and back. We're just going to do 1 more minute of this. One of the effects of this meditation is that it can make you want to go to sleep, so we don't want you to. We want you to be able to get home. This is a good meditation to do before you sleep at night. Inhale deeply, full deep breath. Inhale some more. Hold the breath and apply the root lock. Again, squeeze tight those muscles around the tailbone. Pull back on those thumbs. Pull in the navel. Focus brow point. Circulate the energy. Exhale, relax the arms down. Inhale, bring the hands overhead. Shake out the hands, the arms, bounce the knees. Shake your shoulders, shake it out. Exhale, keep shaking, inhale. And exhale and just sit quietly, become the observer. As an observer, you're just watching without judgment, without shame, without blame. There is no right or wrong answers. But there is compassion because what you're experiencing is what you're observing. So you kind of have an inside-outside experience all at the same time. Be aware of the physical dynamics, the tingling sensations, the heat, the cold, the stress, the numbness, the pulsing or throbbing, whatever's going on in the body, just be aware with compassion. Be aware of your emotional state. Again, there's no right or wrong answers, no judgment, no shame, no blame, whether you're happy, sad, angry, frustrated, calm, joyous, inspired, whatever it is, just be aware with compassion. Be aware of your breath as it flows in and out of its own accord now. We controlled the breath throughout the class. Now just observe the breath. See how it flows on its own. Constant reminder the universe is paying attention to you to keep the energy flowing. Constant rhythm of the heartbeat. Just be aware of those two very basic dynamics in your awareness, in your body that keep you going, keep the energy flowing. Have compassion for this dynamic. Be aware of your thought patterns. It takes you, whether, again, there's no right or wrong answers here, no judgment, no shame, no blame, whether you're dwelling on the past, the present, the future, people, places, things, lunch, relationships, finances, job, children, whatever, pets. Just be aware and with compassion. And as you can be aware of your body and observe your emotions and observe the breath and the heartbeat and see where your mind takes you. There's a vast part of your consciousness beyond these 4 dimensions that connect you with your unlimited self, your undying self, your connection with the cosmic flow of the universe, your connection with the divine influence, however you define that for yourself. So dwell within your soul, within your spirit, without judgment, without shame, without blame, with compassion. These 5 dimensions, they all coexist, they're all happening at the same time, so consolidate the experience. Everything comes together to form the unique person that you are here and now, without judgment, without shame, without blame. Body, emotions, breath, mind, and spirit. One complete person here and now. Manifesting some element of that totality of truth, the totality of truth, the Sat, a unique manifestation of some element of that truth, Nam, through us, through everything around us, we all manifest. We're all part of the process. Nobody or anything is left out. Seen and unseen, known and unknown, it's all part of the manifestation of the totality of truth. Now inhale. Exhale. Bring your palms together, center of the chest. We always end with this little song. It embodies why we do the yoga in the first place. So inhale deeply. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Inhale deeply one last time. Full deep breath. All the way up through the top of the head. Elevated heart center. Shoulders relaxed. Neck lock in place. Inhale some more. May peace be your virtue. May peace be your property. May peace be your prayer. May you bring peace to all whom you meet, all whom you talk to, all whom you live with. May you even bring peace to the person you hate, your enemy. May your friend enjoy your peaceful disposition, and may your enemies enjoy your peaceful opposition. May this world be based on one word, peace. As God has shredded himself into all souls, piece by piece, may we get together into the beautiful world of him or herself. In our heart, may we pray this day for world peace. Satnam.
Satnam.
Wow. That's special. Well, you were special. This is supposed to make you special. To make you sleepy, so wake yourself up if you're feeling a little bit drowsy or sleepy. If you have any questions, if you want to leave a donation, there's a donation box. If you want to go over to the Gurdwara and have snacks in the basement, there's that. Or if you want to go up into the service, you need a head covering in your head, shoulders. But I think everybody has their shoulders.